Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV and welcome to this review of last night's game, Man City 5, Newcastle 0. We've got our usual guests on. We've got Chris. How are you, mate?
I'm right, Andy. How are you, bud?
Yeah, good, buddy. Tom?
How you doing? You all right, guys?
Yeah, very good, mate. And we've got, he's changed his top. He did have his red top on, but I think we actually made him and shamed him into putting his City top on rather than his United top or his Bayern Munich top.
As well.
You all right, Martin?
Isn't this Red Men TV?
It's Martin.
TV.
It's Martin Fiora. Martin Munchen.
All right, I don't mind that. Leroy Sané is the king and all that.
You all right?
Yeah, not bad.
Good. Right. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to do a quick review of last night's game. We'll give our own player ratings. You saw Martin's live watch along. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. Really good watch along last night. The player ratings from people who were on the channel last night was given, but we'll just give ours and talk about them briefly. We'll talk quickly about David Silva, and then we'll look at a few sort of latest transfer rumours and things like that to finish off. So, where do we start with this one? Well, if we look at some of the stats in particular from last night's game, City have now, in the last 5 home games, have scored 19 goals, conceding none. Opta Joe posted the fact that Man City completed 93.7% of their passes against Newcastle. That was 787 out of a potential 840, the highest recorded figure in a Premier League game since full passing data was available back in 2003. David Silva himself, he made 106 completed passes out of a possible 112. 106 completed passes out of 112. He got 2 assists, 1 goal. And obviously with Kevin De Bruyne, we saw a bit of frustration last night. He could have had more assists, but he is only 2 away from Thierry Henry's record in the Premier League for assists. So, I think there was some other room. Yes, also another record it's the first time that 5 different players have scored 10 goals or more for one team in a Premier League season, and that is Raheem Sterling, Kevin De Bruyne, Sergio Aguero, Gabi Jesus, and Martin's favourite player. That's why he's got his ear there. Riyad Mahrez scored another tap-in. So anyway, we'll just have a quick review of last night's games. What were your general thoughts on the game overall? I'll come to you, Tom, first.
Yeah, I thought that was a good game. We started off pretty quickly. You know, we grasped that the left-hand side of Newcastle's defence was quite weak in the first 22 minutes, and obviously we got 2 goals. I thought we set up pretty well. And didn't really give Newcastle a chance, really. We seemed focused from the first minute, you know, getting quite a lot of shots on their goal. And, yeah, pretty impressive performance, really.
Well, if we go through the team, Ederson obviously started. Cancelo started but was substituted on 45 minutes for Walker. Zinchenko played the full game. We had Stones this time coming in with Otamendi. They played the full game. We had Rodri in the first half, Gundogan in the second half, Kevin De Bruyne and David Silva. We had Mahrez on the right, who was replaced on 75 minutes for his first full sort of Premier League debut for Tommy Doyle, which was brilliant to see. Gabi was replaced by Raheem Sterling on 61 minutes, and Phil Foden, who played more on the left, was replaced on 61 minutes by Bernardo Silva. So what were your thoughts, Chris?
In terms of performance, I mean, you can't complain about it, but I didn't think it was overly different to the performance against Southampton. I think the difference was the teams. Southampton played, you know, with the hearts, you know, they defended like lions, they got block challenges in, you know, pressed, and Newcastle were dreadful. Didn't really understand their tactics of playing a big man and never playing up to him. Gave the ball away so many times, and you just can't afford to do that against City and with the players that we've got. So I wasn't overly disappointed with the Southampton performance. You know, it was just we didn't take our chances, and I thought Southampton played really well. And last night we took our chances, and Newcastle were probably the worst team at the Etihad bar Watford this season, I would have thought.
Yeah, I mean, I was on the Magpie channel last night with Matt and Keg, and I just said, I mean, you had nothing to play for, you had nothing to lose type of thing, and you would have thought that they would have just gone for it and said, you know, at least if you have a go and get beat 5-0, then so be it, you're having a go. They just didn't even do that. It was such an abject performance by Newcastle. I mean, it was so weak and poor. I mean, I can't think of one I think there was one shot they had against Edison. Other than that, there was just no threat whatsoever. Very, very poor. And those two guys in particular looked very disappointed in the performance. Martin, what were your thoughts?
Workmanlike a little bit. I'm not going to say raving about it because I don't think Newcastle had any interest in even making that a game. They had no interest. I agree with what was said. Worst team we've seen at the Etihad. Even Watford had a bit more of a goal than them. There was no interest. I saw you with Matty and Keggy last night on the Magpie channel, and I watched some of their fan cams today. They're livid. They're livid because it was like, why bother going up there? What was the point? And I'll be honest with you, I think Pep knew that was going to happen because I think that's why that back four went out. Would he have played that back four against a Chelsea or Liverpool, United? He ain't going to do it. He went out as I can throw who I want out here tonight. Newcastle aren't going to bother, which is a real shame. 5-0 is always a great result. But the trouble is, it's very hard to say, wow, what a performance, when it was men against boys. Literally, it was men against boys last night. But yeah, I was pleased for Cancelo. Cancelo's proving me wrong at the minute. He's starting to improve. I know you won't agree, but he is improving. He really is.
I told you.
That's why he got 45 minutes.
I don't
Right back.
If I'm going to be honest with you. Zinchenko still don't, like I said, can't read the game, can't read a pass, can't read a book.
Oh, come on, he got 90 minutes.
Sorry, I'm not having it.
Cancelo, he got 90 minutes.
Not having it with Zinchenko. I've never known a guy drop so many bollocks and get so many chances.
I thought he had a good game.
Yeah, because you'd have a good game if you had no interest with someone coming forward.
Well, that was the same. That was the same.
Went down one side.
But that was the same with Cancelo, and he only lasted half a game.
Right. But which side did Newcastle go down? Don't try and wind me up here. Which side did Newcastle attack? It wasn't Cancelo's side.
Right, okay. We're not going through each player, but obviously you thought that Newcastle were poor, and I agree with you. I mean, I thought I was really shocked. I thought they would have at least tried, but
thank God there was no Newcastle fans in there because they'd have wanted the money back.
Yeah, I know they had a number of injuries, so there is that. They didn't have that St. Maximin who could have sort of been an outlet for them, but you just expect players, especially if takeover does happen, are playing for contracts and playing for this, that, and the other. You think they'd go, right, we're given an opportunity, let's take it, but they just didn't. I agree. They were one of the worst. Well, I wouldn't say worst teams, one of the worst performances from an opposition team I've seen at the Etihad for a number of years. Probably since that Chelsea game when Chelsea were absolute garbage. Yeah, Tom?
There's a stat that the player with the most touches from a Newcastle point of view was Dubravka, the goalkeeper. So that shows you, doesn't it?
Really?
Yeah, he had the most touches for a Newcastle player.
And it's a shame because I think he's a decent keeper. Yeah. He made that save from David, which was brilliant reflexes.
I think he had more touches on his own than the midfield and the attack combined. I think he had more touches than that, which shows you how defensively minded they were when they came.
But they weren't even defensively minded like Southampton were, like Chris said. They were throwing the bodies on the line. They were throwing. I think the fact that they were 12th and nothing really to play for, and it wasn't even like that, was it? It was. No. It's just
I said McManaman said last night on the commentary, didn't he? They've only gone sideways and backwards all match, which is a bit rich from him, really. But it's they just didn't offer anything. I thought it was really poor performance. If I was a Newcastle fan, I'd be fuming with that.
Especially considering, like we did the preview, and I said to Keg on the preview for the game, I said, from a Premier League perspective, they're unbeaten. They were unbeaten in 6, I think it was. But the last 5 has been something like a win, a draw, a win, a win, a draw. And then they come into that last night, and it's like, who've they played in these last 6 games if that's the level of performance? But anyway, what we'll do is we'll move on to the player ratings. So we'll go through them one by one. Ederson, Chris.
I give Ederson, somewhere between a 7 and an 8, probably 7.5. He didn't really have much to do, in terms of keeping, but that assist that he nearly got, it was he's just who
was the assist through?
The guy who can only do tap-ins, mate. Doesn't get his head up and see that there's somebody across who can stick it in. He is something else. Is Ederson something else?
Yeah,
sorry, I woke up there.
Well, seeing as though you've woken up, what's your rating for Ederson?
A 7, because, like you said, we always do a starting point of 6, and he's getting a point for that assist. For that.
No, I wanted an assist because he didn't
pass. Sorry, should have been an assist.
He didn't score the tap-in or make an assist.
Anyway, swiftly moving on. He gets a 7 because he did now wrong and did now else after it. So
not a lot. He didn't have to do a great deal, did he? Tom?
What Chris said, 7.5 to 8. He did a good. The bit that he had to do, he made a good ball to Mahrez, and he had nothing else to do. So the only thing he had to do in the game, he did pretty well. So 7.5 to an 8.
I'll go with that. 7.5 overall. Didn't have a great deal to do, but that pass, I mean, it's frightening. It is absolutely frightening for a goalkeeper. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. We'll start with Cancelo, and we'll come to his favourite fan, Tom.
For what he did, he was brilliant. When he 8.5.
An 8.5.
Yeah.
Is that a joke?
No.
He played 45 minutes.
45 minutes, I know. He played 45 minutes, and he was involved in all
I think you've done Martin. Martin's absolutely done there. Come on.
No, because I knew what was coming. I knew what was going to happen.
Come on.
I knew
Carry on, Tom.
Kick off.
Yeah. So I thought he played really well again. He made some good passes. He made the goal. I think it was the second goal that he played the ball over to Foden, and it was a good ball. And from a left back,
he gets an 8.5 for passing a ball.
No, he plays.
Ederson an 8 for passing the ball.
He gets an 8.5 for keeping up his performances since he's been back. And
no, it's not on previous performances.
Yeah,
it's on last night's game.
He continued it into last night's game, and he was involved in the goals. He was involved in the goals before he got taken off, which I thought was harsh that he went off. That he went off.
All right, so he gets an 8.5 for making a pass to Phil Foden and playing 45 minutes of a game. Wow, very generous. Chris?
I'm going to give him a 7, because he did only play half the game. I think he does offer a little bit more going up forward. I think he can deliver a good ball into the box. Defensively, I don't think he's as good as Kyle. But so a 7 for me. I thought he had another decent game. And I thought he was our best player at Southampton as well.
You did say that. Martin?
Well, I don't know, because we're giving 8s to Ederson for one pass.
No, we gave him a 7. We gave him a 7.5, but he did play 90 minutes. And he did almost give an assist to Mahrez. If he would have had a out. I'm not sure Cancelo nearly got an assist throughout the 45 minutes. But anyway, what's your biased opinion?
I'm biased. Wait till we get to Mahrez with you. I'm going
to... Good job Kiam's not on. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you want to see my WhatsApp. Right, anyway, 7.5. I thought I was nearly at a 7, but yeah, I think he has improved, and he didn't do anything wrong. He really didn't.
Okay. Well, I mean, they didn't really have any attack whatsoever. So, I mean, they didn't have anything to do. None of them at the back. So, okay. Well, I'll have to go with a 7.5. I can't go anywhere near an 8, for God's sake. Madness.
That hurt.
One said 7, one said 7.5, 8. I'll have to go 7.5, even though I would only have given him, with Chris, I would only have given him a 7 personally, but
maybe an 8.5 is slightly too much. I'll give him an 8. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'll be generous and give him a 7.5, but I would have gone 7 with Chris.
Okay,
Anyway,
we'll meet in the middle then. We'll meet in the middle.
7.5. On to somebody who I thought had a wonderful 90 minutes last night, and that was Zinchenko.
Now we're going to see the bias.
Chris.
What are you watching?
What are your thoughts on that wonderful performance by Alexander Zinchenko last night? 90 minutes.
I'm going to give him a 6. I think on the right side where you've got Cancelo coming in for Kyle Walker, there's not much of a drop off, but between Mendy and Zinny, there's a bit of a drop off there, and he's not a left back at the end of the day, so you can't really knock him. So I just feel he doesn't offer enough as our left back.
Yeah.
So
Tom.
Well, like we said earlier, obviously, I'll give him a 6.5. But as we were saying earlier, obviously, Pep obviously knew that Newcastle were going to turn up like that. And how I see it, if you can't perform to the highest of your abilities against a Newcastle team who didn't even think about coming forward, then you've got no chance. And he didn't perform very well. Again, gave away a few balls.
Yeah,
like Chris has just said, if the difference between him and Mendy is light years, and that's why I give him a 6.5, because he always seems to panic under the ball too much and give it away. So, yeah, 6.5 for me.
Yeah, that's fair enough. But like Chris said, he's not a left back. We know that.
No.
Martin?
6. No, because I'm just going to get, I'm not against him.
He's not. Stop being so touchy.
I'm not against him. Like Tom says, is he good enough for Man City? No. Is he a left back? No. I keep hearing he's this great midfielder. Well, the midfielder should be able to pass the ball 5 yards, and he struggles with that sometimes. And I keep coming back to, why did City accept the £15 million bid from Wolves last summer? Why did they do it?
That was 15. You never said 50 then.
No, 15.
15. Oh, you said 50.
I'm going to say.
I think we'd have drawn to Wolves.
Okay. I think you're right. I mean, certainly first half, I thought he gave away a few sloppy passes that were. He's normally a little bit better than that, but.
Can I just add one little thing on? The major thing is with him yesterday, because I thought defensively he was okay. My issue with him. He kept it in the first man. Like Chris said, there's such a drop off between him and Mendy on crossing. It is unreal. But he hit the first man every time he was trying to put a ball in. Yeah. And I will say one thing, it looks like his confidence is shot at the moment, which is not what you want to see. It's not, I don't wish him any badness. I just don't think he's good enough for City.
Okay.
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay, well, I'll go with the others. And Zinchenko gets a 6. I thought he didn't do anything majorly wrong, but didn't do anything. It didn't really impress on the game, considering that they weren't really doing anything to us, and you would have thought he might have shone a bit more. Okay, Nicholas Otamendi, Chris?
I gave Nico a 6.5. A lovely game for both centre-backs really to play, because there was no real pressure on him. He did a couple of wild hacks. He was determined that that ball wasn't going through. He showed a bit of a, to me, it shows a bit of a lack of composure at times. But fair news, it's a clean sheet. He had a decent, it was a decent game.
Tom?
Yeah, I'll go with Chris for that 6.5. Like the little bits I had to do, he slashed it and panicked at the ball. It wasn't just once either. It was 3 or 4 times that he did it. But yeah, you can't really criticise a team that's just a defence that's got a clean sheet. So yeah, 6.5.
Martin?
I'm going to give him a 7 because I thought, he did a couple of hacks, but he headed the ball away nicely every time. I thought him and Stones were quite good last night, surprisingly enough. But again, they didn't come under a lot of pressure. Yeah. So that's the problem.
Okay. Because of that point, I'm going to go 6.5. So overall, a 6.5 with the other guys because I said there was not much. There was nothing really coming from Newcastle. On to that man then, John Stones. Got his first game for a long, long time. Played the full 90 minutes. Chris?
I'm going to give John a 7, only because I think he looked a bit more composed at the back. He did have a good header out, and he was always available for the ball. And from what I can remember, he never gave it away once. So, I'll give him a 7. I thought he had a good comeback, but he must have been pleased he was playing Newcastle than, rather than a Diego Costa or somebody.
Absolutely. Tom?
With Chris again, a 7 for that. It was good to see John back. Obviously, he hadn't played since January. I think it's something like that. He hadn't played since January. So for a guy who's just come back from, oh God, we've got the Liverpool fan. He's just turned up.
Oh. Bayern
München. To be fair, because he hadn't played since January, I thought that was quite a solid performance from him. Yeah. He got up for a few headers, nearly knocked himself out on one of them, but he was committed to get to it, and we need a little bit of that. And I saw a little bit of the John Stones we saw in his prime season, his prime few games before he had that dodgy hamstring injury in I think it was the 17-18 season. So yeah, if he plays like that and he keeps that up, then he might have, it might be third choice centre back if he keeps like that. But if he goes back into his old ways, then he'll be out of the door. But he's got the talent and he's got the potential if he can just get back to it. So fingers crossed he can.
Yeah, I mean, I was listening to can't think who it was. It was on Talk Sport this morning on the radio. But I had it on in the background. They were talking about Stones and it was an ex-player. I can't think who it was. It might have been Darren Bent or it might have been somebody else. But they were saying the guy's got masses of talent. He really has. And they just said, I don't think it's down to anything else other than he's had just so many injuries and he just cannot get a run of 10 games back to back without picking up a knock. Might not put him out for 3 months, but it might put him out for 3 weeks. And when you're rotating centre-back partnerships all the time, it's so hard, really difficult. So it was good to see him back. Martin, what were your thoughts on Stones?
Did all right. I think it was a shot window game, if I'm going to be totally honest.
Yeah.
I'm glad it was against Newcastle because if they get taken over, I'm hoping for a nice 30 or 40 million pound bid for him. John Stones has no chance of staying in the summer. He's out the door. He's not going to be third, fourth, or fifth choice next season. He's out the door. He's got 1 year left in his contract. Pep said it all in his presser that even things have changed now. Well,
okay.
Pep's clever on the way he words things, but we'll get into that later.
What's your rating?
7.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm going to go for 7 as well. I thought he never. I can't remember him putting a foot wrong, if I'm honest. So maybe 7's a little bit. But then there's no opposition against him. Okay. Just before we move on to the midfield, then I'll say we might get rid of 2 centre backs and replace them with 2. We might not. We might get 1 centre back in and 1 goes out. You've got a choice. Who goes in the summer? Otamendi or Stones? Chris?
Otamendi goes for me.
Okay. Tom?
He goes for me.
Otamendi goes. Martin?
Stones.
Oh, why?
Because he's only got a year left in his contract. They've not even offered him one. There's not even talk of a new contract. And he's not good enough. He's not good enough, simple fact.
Okay. So Otamendi's a better centre-back than Stones to keep for next season then?
Every day of the week, twice on Sunday.
Okay. Well, give us your thoughts in the comments below. If we only had to get rid of 1, we might be getting a centre-back in. We might be getting 2, but I don't think we're going to get 2. I really
might be getting rid of 3.
Well... But listening, look at the reading between the lines on a lot of the sort of rumours and things like that. Yes, the Pep looks like City and Cheeky and Ferran are going to give Pep a war chest, but that will be for 3 players: a left back, a centre back, and possibly a striker. I don't think we're going to be bringing in 2 centre backs this summer. I really don't. As much as Alan thinks we need to, in his previous videos that we've done, I think it's going to be 3 players if we get 3, and depending on the money. So I don't know. I think I'd probably keep Stones and get rid of Otamendi, if I'm being honest, because of his age, and I'd keep Stones as a backup. But we'll wait and see. Okay, moving on to Rodri. Rodri started. What were your thoughts, Chris, and play ratings?
Well, he only played 45 minutes himself. Yeah. He had the freedom of the whole park. It looked so easy for him last night. Yeah. I give him a 7. He had a good game, but there were, again, no pressure on him whatsoever. You just strolled through that midfield last night.
Do you think the likes of someone like a John Joe Shelby would have tried to go up against him and, nothing? There was absolutely nothing.
I think that's got to be Rodri's easiest game he's ever had at City. Definitely.
Yeah.
There was nothing for him to really worry about.
Yeah, I agree. Tom.
Yeah, I'd give him a 7.5 actually last night. I was disappointed when he went off. I was quite wound up actually because I know we have to rest players and all that sort of thing because we've got a game every 3 days, but he didn't play against Southampton and he's been taken off within 45 minutes. And we want him to settle in well. And this is a great time for it to happen because the games in the Premier League don't mean as much, if you get what I mean, as they will next year. So by playing at least the 90 minutes, it'd be good for his confidence and for him to get used to the position. So, yeah, I thought he didn't put a foot wrong again, but he didn't get any pressure, did he? So we can't really rate him on his performance defensively, but going forward with the build-up play, he did a good few passes onto the wing and set the first. It was in the build-up play for the first goal. So yeah, 7.5 for me.
Okay, Martin.
Same as Tom, 7.5. I'm a bit worried why Pep's got to get Gundogan on this pitch and all costs and all. I don't know, what is it? What has Ilkay got over Pep to get on the pitch?
I know, but he got a 10 for the second half performance from me.
I feel for Rodri, and Tom's got a, the guy for me.
Yeah, I think what Tom said is spot on. The fact that he didn't play against Southampton, and then that last night was a perfect game.
So how does he ever settle into the CDM role if you're not going to let him settle into it? And for me, I like Rodri. I think he's had some very, very unfair criticism from some of the fans this year. Really, really unfair. I'm going to be honest, and I don't like not slating some of the fan base anymore because I don't like doing it, but we've become a very impatient lot, some of us. If players aren't doing it within 3 months, it's like, what's going on out the door all of a sudden?
Especially in that CDM role.
Yeah.
In a City formation, it's such a difficult position to play because the transition is so fast. And then when you get a break, when you're transitioning so quickly and suddenly the ball's lost and there's a counter attack, you can be in a really dodgy position and out of position in that CDM role, and it can bypass you within a split second. Well, that's why Fernandinho was so good at reading just that. I won't go 5 yards, I'll go 2 yards. Or I won't go 10, I'll go 6. And
I think Fern is blessed with a bit more pace as well, isn't he? So he can get back a bit quicker than Rodri can. But
well, here's the point. If you look at Rodri, we went after Jorginho as our first choice. Then technically, it was Fred or Jorginho, whichever one it was. And Fred or Jorginho or Rodri, none of them are really a Fernandinho player. No. So what makes me think is Pep didn't want a Fernandinho player in that position. He wanted something completely different to maybe suit his style a bit more. I don't know. Maybe Fernandinho's amazing passer, but I think he wanted a natural passer from the transition out and from the defence to go forward. And as much as Fernandinho has done an amazing job there, you look at the players who went after Jorginho, Fred technically, and now Rodri, they're all technically better passers than Fernandinho looking at it.
I don't know about that because I think Fernandinho is a pretty decent passer and he transitions very quickly.
He is, but I'm thinking of Fernandinho thrown into that role.
You're trying to look at him, maybe looking at a Busquets,
Yeah.
a bit high, bit of passing, where Fernandinho's not the tallest and he's a bit more combative and looks a little bit more silky, elegant.
Spot on. That's what he wants. He wanted a Busquets bang in that middle.
Yeah. Maybe he's looked at Rodri thinking, there's a young upcoming Busquets style of player because he's got his tall, he's elegant, he's good on the ball. He's might not, because Busquets, let's face it, isn't the quickest.
Yeah.
But he reads the game very well. Interesting your point you said about Jorginho, and maybe he was looking for somebody different. Rumours are Chelsea are going to sell Jorginho this summer, and it's like, wow, after the season he had last year.
Yeah.
He's falling out, anti after
summer. Yeah. Well, strange decision if they do. Tom, you wanted to make a point?
That's weird, that, because I was just going to talk about biscuits. Biscuits. Yeah, I love a good old custard cream, me. No, yeah, it was weird that you just discussed that, because I was just going to say, when Busquets go, that's better. Obviously, he was trained by Pep. He was trained to defend, whereas he had the attacking capabilities already, and that's exactly what I think Rodri's been brought in. You can learn to defend better than you can learn to attack, and he's got all the attacking capabilities. He can play the long ball over the top. He's calm under the ball. So I think the project with him is going to be get used to defending and learn how to get stuck in with a tackle like Werner does, but also be quite elegant under the ball. So I think he's a project that Pep's going to take under his wing and make sure that he can tackle to really well and make sure he's a little bit more stronger in the tackle. And then if he can conquer that, then he's an all-round brilliant central defensive midfielder.
Yeah, I agree. Some good points. Okay, well, I'm going to go for 7.5. Again, not much opposition, but I thought what he did last night was... he kept the ball moving. He made some nice passes as well. Okay, on to Kevin De Bruyne then. Chris?
8 for me.
We'll speed this up a little bit as well.
Okay.
So that was the longest 7.5 we've really
got. An 8 for me for Kevin. Absolutely everywhere on the pitch. Just another good performance. His levels don't drop that much. Not his best ever game, but still looks a wonderful, wonderful player. Even when his levels aren't at the highest, he's a great player. So an 8 for me. Brilliant.
Yeah, I think he's spot on there. I think if he was in any other team and he's putting in that type of performance, the fans would be going, "What great game, 8." But because we see it week in, week out, he only has to not make 5 or 6 passes during the game, or 5 or 6 less passes, and we go, he's a 7.5 today. But in most teams, week in, week out, they go, God, isn't he just a wonderful player? Tom?
Yeah, 8 for me. He just did what he needed to do. He's always involved. Got another assist, 2 more to go now. And yeah, what else can you say about Kevin? He's just Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, he looked certainly the one for Foden. When Foden, missed it, he looked really pissed off. He was like, because what Kevin's like. He's just a natural winner. And I don't think he's afraid of going, I want records. And if he knows he's 2 away from, equaling Henry's record, he'll want that record this season, even though there's not many games left now. And when he put it on a plate and then he's missing, he's like, that's another one I've got to try and find from somewhere. And I'm sure he probably had a few words for Phil Foden last night. Martin?
I'm going to shock you all now. I'm going to say 7.5. I'm a bit thin with KDB last night. You know what I thought he was last night? He was trying too hard.
Maybe it's the assist thing.
Yeah, maybe. He looked angry, and the last few games, he's looked very emotional. So you look at some of his facial expressions and the way he's looking at his teammates, it's like he's going to kill them at some stage.
The rumours he's got a bad attitude or anything like that.
Oh, here we go. Whenever I mention attitude.
So what are you giving him? A 7 or a 7.5?
I'm going to have to give him a 7.
Okay. Well, I'll go with the others. I'll give him an 8. So Kevin De Bruyne gets an 8. I'm going to skip one player. I'm going to move out to the right-hand side, Martin's favourite player, and that's Riyad Mahrez. So, Chris, what were your
Here we
thoughts?
go. 2, 3.
No, don't be daft.
After the player ratings yesterday, I gave him 5.5. And then Martin dismissed that. He didn't even include it in his player.
Oh, really?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Convenient.
And then kicked me out as well.
What?
He kicked me out for calling him Titch afterwards. So
That's where he went.
So, but I probably maybe a little unfair, but I wouldn't give him any more than a 6. He just doesn't do it for me. Doesn't do it at all.
Hang on, yeah, but stop. We're voting on the game, not what you personally.
No, this is on last night's. This is on last night's game as well.
Absolute garbage.
Well, I think what you just said about KDB's garbage, but there you go. But Mahrez just doesn't do it. Didn't get his head up enough. He's too predictable. And his goal, he took his goal, but it'd have been harder to miss. But
I hope you say the same about Gabby then.
I'm not going to say. We'll see in a minute.
Sterling, it was harder to miss.
Hold on.
Listen.
Stop being defensive. Calm down. I mean, the one thing I will say, Chris, is, and you've got your own ratings. We always start at a 6 and go, well, if they score, it's a point. But unless they do something really, really dramatic, they'll lose a point, and blah, blah, blah. But, I mean, it's your opinion. 6.
He gets so much of the ball, and he doesn't do enough with it for my liking. That's what I think about him. I think he's a really, really talented footballer. Talented footballer, but does not fit into Manchester City's team.
I mean, that's my. You've hit the nail on the head with my thoughts on Mahrez. I've always said he's technically fantastic. I did the full review of him before he came to City and was saying about Mahrez in this deeper lying role is where he excelled at Leicester, and he plays out on the wing. And I've always said it's not his fault he's being pushed so wide on the right-hand side. But I agree, you hit the nail on the head for me, which is my thoughts with him. He has so much of the ball, it doesn't really produce anything. Shouldn't say rarely, but the end product is, for the amount of times he's on a ball, like Sane would, or a David Silva does, or a Kevin De Bruyne does, there's not much comes from it. It's generally a pass inside, and it's an easy pass back or a pass inside. And when he does try, rarely comes off. But
I will say this: he worked harder last night than he did against Southampton.
Yeah, he did work hard last night. Yeah. And what's that? I mean, there was nobody against. We just all agreed that they offered nothing. Yeah. So, I mean, but
he got back and supported his fullback, and he didn't against Southampton.
Yeah,
Kiam said he didn't do that.
He did more last night.
Not to drop Kiam in it here, but
right, Tom.
For me, I give him a 7.5. Well, I like Mahrez. I think he plays really well. I think he's, like I said in my fan cam last night, I think he's in the top 5 performers since we've come back from the lockdown. I think he plays really well. He's always involved. He's always there in the attacks. Obviously, he messed up for that one that Edison played him in, but he realised as soon as he did it that he'd made a mistake. And fingers crossed, obviously, he goes into the next one and can understand it a little bit more. But yeah, I think he had a very good game I think it was 75 minutes he played. And yeah, he kept it consistent, and he's kept it consistent since he's come back, always trying to take on the man, which we haven't seen as much in previous games. But yeah, 7.5 for me, and he scored as well. And it was a composed finish, no matter what anybody says, because he's taken it on he's come across him and he's had to put it in the opposite corner. So yeah, 7.5 for me for Riyad.
Okay, I'll come back to that comment you just said there, and I will come back to it when we talk about another player. When you said it was a composed finish, I'll come back to that on another player. Martin, Mahrez?
I've got to agree with Tom. I think he's really, really improved this season. Brings a lot to it. People say he doesn't work hard. He works twice as hard as Sane ever did. Sorry, but he does. He actually tracks back. He goes and helps out defensively. Sorry, but he does. And if you don't see that, you don't know what you're watching. We moan at Sterling and everyone else. Take the guy on. That's all you ever hear. And then when he doesn't, why are we not letting why is he not taking on the fullback? Mahrez does it.
And don't get round the fullback.
Right, okay, but he has a go.
He goes wide and then stops and comes back.
Hey, Andy, I was at a game last season. I think it was the third game in, and people are shouting, "What a waste of money!" This is what I'm saying. People have got an agenda against Mahrez. I'm not saying you have, or you have. Some fans have got an agenda, and it is because of the Algerian fans and the way they behave. That is why people are against Mahrez. I'm going to be honest.
Or is it that they just think like me and Andy do, that he doesn't fit into the system?
Not as a right winger. That's my point.
Yeah, as a right winger.
My point is solely on his position. I don't think it's his position.
All right, then. Would you play him in any other position?
Yeah, I would. And I've said that. I did that full breakdown on him. And I said, in an 8, driving from deep, like he did for Leicester, he would be twice the player for City as he would do. The problem being is that's Kevin De Bruyne's position, and he's never going to get in ahead of Kevin De Bruyne. And I've always said I've never blamed Mahrez for it, because I just think he's been playing wide on the right-hand side, which is not. He is not a natural winger. He isn't, because he's got no right foot whatsoever, and he doesn't beat a player. He feints and goes inside and outside and inside and outside, then stops and cuts back, which is fine because you're drawing players across to you and you can cut it back to a Kevin and things like that for a quick cross in and whatever. But he's just not a natural. He's not a winger. He just isn't a winger. Simple as. And nobody will convince me. I don't care what you show me. You'll never convince me he's a winger. He isn't. And I do feel sorry for him, because I think if we didn't have a Kevin De Bruyne, I think that 8 role would be perfect for him. Absolutely perfect.
But who have we got as natural wingers apart from Sterling?
Well, we have.
That's the problem.
Yeah. But I do believe, and this is only my opinion, I do believe Bernardo on the right-hand side brings more to City than Mahrez does on the right wing. Because Bernardo can beat a player. He can beat a player. And we've seen it. Might talk about goal ratios and records and stats and things like that, but I do think, it's only my opinion, I do think if you're playing, and Bernardo's not a right winger either, I just think it's unfair on Mahrez because he isn't a right winger. And that's my only thing about it. I just feel sorry for him that we've got Kevin De Bruyne in the team. I'd rather have Kevin, but that 8 role is not there for him.
Is the price tag an issue?
No.
I don't mean with you, but do you think it's an issue with some fans because he's at 60 million?
Yeah, no, but I mean, he's a Premier League winner. It might be for some, not for me.
I think for older fans it is.
I think he's been we bought him. He was in the Premier League. He was a Premier League winner with Leicester. He was Premier League Player of the Year. 60 million quid. It's one of those. I didn't get the vibe when we bought him. I must admit, I was thinking, where's he going to fit in? I'm thinking, I don't know where he's going to play. And then we suddenly see him. I mean, I'd personally shove him out on the left wing and put Raz on the right and see, because he's naturally left-footed. I bet you'd see 10 times more brilliant Mendy-style crosses.
He went there for 15 minutes last night. You look the last 15 minutes, he went to the left.
Went over to the left. And I personally play him there, try him there. At least he's naturally left-footed. Yes, Tom. Yeah. Go on, mate.
I was just going to say, when we played against Newcastle in the Cup, and we played this formation quite a bit recently, when Kevin's playing as the CDM with Rodri or so on, or Gundogan and Rodri are playing as 2 CDMs, and we've got like the 3 in front of them. When he's not playing on the wing, he looks much better because he's slightly more deeper and he can do what he does. Rather than when he's on the wing, he's always there and he's got how he likes to run at players and he likes space. So if we do play that formation more often, then we might see the Mahrez that we all wish to see, or some of you wish to see, because I think he's brilliant already. But the bigger potential from him, if he's playing a little bit deeper, because like you said, number 8 is his position, preferably.
It's like that disallowed goal he got against Liverpool, wasn't it? It came from deep.
Yeah.
You know, should have stood really, that goal. But
Yeah.
I agree with you, Andy. I think that he would be far better in a deeper position. He's not a right winger.
Do you know the problem is, if you look at Bernardo's best role, Mahrez's best role, and one or two others' best roles, they're all occupied by one player.
Yeah.
And Bernardo's, I can't remember, it was against Bernardo, best game this year, when he played in the centre of midfield and he ran the show.
Yeah.
And you've got KDB there. You're not going to ounce KDB for any of them.
That's the conundrum that Pep faces, because, I mean, let's face it, Kevin De Bruyne was here when we bought Mahrez. It's not like, you know, so he knew what he was getting. We had David Silva.
He was here before Bernardo.
He was at the height, and we had David Silva at the height of his powers when we got Mahrez, and so. I mean, Pep clearly, I don't know what Pep was, or whoever was bringing him in was thinking where he was going to play and things like that. I mean, could Mahrez be the left wing replacement next season? See, you know what Pep's like. God knows he can convert anyway. For me, he would certainly be better on the left.
Yeah, and I think also, Andy, I think that'll suit Sterling better to go back on the right.
I agree. I totally agree.
How
many back post goals would Sterling have if he was on the right hand side?
So many.
Loads.
That's exactly what you need, that side.
Loads. I mean, he could have 20, 22, 23 goals this season easily if he was back on the right-hand side. But it's almost like he's accommodating Mahrez on that side and Sterling on the left to try and accommodate players. And I don't know. I really don't know. Okay, so we've got a 6, a 7.5. Martin, what was your rating for Mahrez? 7. Yeah, well, I'll give him a 7 overall because he gets it for that goal anyway. And he gets... Maybe I would maybe go to a 6 because of that miss, or he did pass it. But anyway, I'm being harsh. He gets a 7. Right, quickly, Gabby, Chris.
Not a bad performance again from Gabby. Got his goal. I think he took his goal really nice. I think he opened his body up lovely. Worked hard, but probably looking at a 7.
7.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, yeah, and plus obviously their own goal was caused by, he was now in the box, and let's face it, the way he opened up his body for that goal, if that was Sergio, you'd go classic Sergio finished that. I mean, he took it nicely. Tom?
Go 7.5, same as Mahrez, because they both played well and got a goal, so they contributed to the team whilst they played, and it was nice to see him because he was on a little bit of a drought, wasn't he, Gabby? So it was good to see him end that. And I also saw a thing that he was with it a few days ago. It was 4 years since he signed, and somebody says, "What's he done to show himself as a Sergio Aguero replacement?" And I have to be honest with you, not much, nothing whatsoever. So I'm just hoping that now he's got rid of this drought. Hopefully, he can prove himself in the FA Cup next week and can show that he's got some sort of contribution to maybe doing a little bit while Sergio's injured.
Yeah, and it's always the when you read comparisons comparing to Sergio Aguero. I mean,
I know.
I think it's really unfair. I mean,
they are big boots to fill.
I mentioned it the other day and said, he didn't have the best of games against Southampton and blah 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 blah, but. To try and compare him to Sergio Aguero is so absolutely so unfair. And you think, well, I'm just looking at some transfer history. We got him for £28 million in 2017. If you look at his full stats, let's just see if I can just bring that up on my phone. This season, he's played 46 games. He's scored 19 goals and got 11 assists. Yeah. And he's, 23? For 28 million quid. I think most teams have taken 19 goals and 11 assist striker. And we know he's not at Sergio level.
The title-winning teams take that.
Well, he scored this. Well,
because he'd be playing week in, week out.
Would they? How much did Firmino cost? How much did Mane cost? How much did Salah cost? None of them cost 28 million quid.
None of them. Firmino wasn't a lot of money, was it?
None of them are 23. They're all coming towards the end of.
I understand that, man.
28, 29, 30.
Would Gabby be leading a title-winning attack? Not so sure, if I'm honest.
Probably, yeah, probably. Maybe not. Maybe you're right.
And I'm not having to go at him. I'm just thinking where we want to be.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, he's played 39 times for Brazil, scored 18 goals.
And they don't play him as striker, do they? They play him as winger.
No. Yeah. So I don't know. I think Gabby's a real conundrum for me. This season, just Premier League only. 30 appearances, 11 goals, 6 assists. So, I don't know.
It's a tough one.
It is a hard one. I'm in a real flux with Gabby.
Would you have him in the team? Not as striker. Would you have him in the team? Because I would. I'd have him in the team, maybe on the wing. I wouldn't have him as striker.
I think. I'll be honest with you. I would pick and choose the games that he plays in. I think it's if we need teams where we need to press them when they've got the ball at the back and things like that. Definitely, I would have him in the team without a shadow of a doubt, because we know what he never stops running. He presses quickly, things like that. I mean, if you had a choice of Sergio or him, I'd take Sergio every day of the week. And it just, my concern for him is if Sergio's got one more season, I think next season's going to be massive for him, because if he doesn't really sort of step up or get enough opportunities, which again, will he get enough opportunities next season? I don't know. What's the future this season after? And if this summer we do go in for a striker, where does that leave him? That's my only concern. Unless Pep's got plans for him. I don't know. Okay, Martin, what was your rating?
I gave him a 7 because I thought it was a nice finish. I'm going to make a point to Chris. He was closer to the goal than Mahrez was, but Mahrez scored a tap-in. So what did Jesus score?
Yeah, but he was at an angle.
Oh, God.
Mahrez was to the right. The
we're at an angle now. Not that he was like on the 6-yard line or out.
Oh, come on. You can't compare Mahrez's tapping to the way Gabby is.
Hang on. A tapping to me is 2 yards out with an open net. Mahrez and Jesus were not either.
That's because you got a bad back.
He was 6 yards out with an open net. Gabby was to the left.
Tappings.
Put it in the bottom corner.
Ruud van Nistelrooy scored tappings. Francis Jeffers scored tappings.
I don't see how you can compare those two goals. Tom, can you I'll come to you as you like Mahrez. Me and Chris is laughing at him. I'm laughing at him. Can you compare Mahrez?
Don't like Mahrez.
No. Is within the same type of goal?
The same type of goal because they came from the left, but that's the only thing that was the same about them. And I love both of the guys. And I thought Gabby's was harder than Mahrez's to finish because he was going across him. He played it with the opposite, and it's how he played it across. So yeah, I thought Gabby was just harder, bearing in mind the people around him at the time as well. He had to compose himself a little bit more, whereas Mahrez had the whole goal to obviously shoot at. But fair play to him for scoring. So yeah, I'm with you two on that one.
There you go.
I'm going to defend Mahrez.
He's not having it. I'm going to defend Mahrez.
I am.
No, I'm going to defend him. Right.
Listen, I like Gabby. I've told you so. I like Gabby, but he's not a Sergio replacement. He never will be.
Should he go on loan?
No. But I'll tell you what, if Juventus are going to start throwing 70 million quid at us, snap their hand off.
I think he's only young. He needs to go on loan and learn his trade. Which brings us on to Phil Foden.
Hang on, what was your fan cam on Phil Foden last night? Remind me. Go on.
I said he missed 2.
Oh, you destroyed him.
I said he missed 2 good chances. I said on my fan cam last night, if he's now going to be there's no, you cannot now be having, he's a young kid and he's a stop. Yes, if he is part of the team and he's now a regular, he has to get the same objective critique that we do for every player. And I thought
Jesus was only 23.
He missed two clear chances last night. Still thought he was decent in the game, but he missed 2 clear chances, and you could see the frustration on both of his chances from Kevin De Bruyne. Even he was thinking. Now, in other games, when you miss chances like that, which look at Southampton, games can change on things. So, Chris, thoughts on Foden last night?
I thought he had a good game. I'm going to give him an 8. I thought he was instrumental in both the first 2 goals. Him and linked up really well on that left hand side. Yeah, you're right. He was a bit wasteful in front of goal. First one, I think he should have tucked away. Second one, I'm not sure why he didn't go his head on the second one.
Yeah, I thought.
It was a bit. I think we got a little bit unlucky with that one, but still, I think Phil Foden had a really good performance, and since the coming back, this Project Bollocks, I think he's been really good and stepped up.
Yeah, the praise, you only have to listen to the praise from some of the ex-pros, Rio Ferdinand and others. Raving about him and saying he is the future of this England team. We just hope Gareth Southgate sees the same thing.
I like the way he drives at defenders at times. That's something that we miss a little bit.
Yeah,
he really goes. I like that.
Yeah, well, you look at a player who I don't particularly like, Jack Grealish. He does the same sort of thing. He just gets the ball and he likes to be direct and commit players. And like I said, when you've got the likes of Rio Ferdinand saying, well, this is the player we've been crying out for since Paul Gascoigne. And Gasser's another one. That type of player used to get the ball and he'd run at players and commit them, and that's what Foden does at such a tender age. He's been, I agree, he's been brilliant since the restart, absolutely brilliant. So you're giving him an 8, Tom?
I've obviously gone for his haircut when I went back to the barber's.
I nearly said that to you.
Yeah. So I'm going to give him a 7.5. Okay, I love the guy and I think he's great, and I'm only giving him 7.5 because I'm not going to give him higher because he didn't score, and I gave Mahrez and Jesus 7.5. I'm not going to give him any lower because he had a really good performance. But like you said, Andy, he's considered as one of our main choices in midfield now, and he needs. If it was anybody else that missed them chances, I'd deduct something off them. And he's got, as much as we all love him, he's still a player for City, and he's going to be a first team regular, so he deserved the criticism if he's done something. Yeah, obviously a little bit negative. And like I said in my fan cam last night, if we were losing 1-0, that would have been a completely different story if those were the only 2 chances we had in the game. But people forget it because we've won 5-0. But he had a great performance bar those because he was involved with everything. And 7.5 for me.
Martin?
Yeah, I agree with Tom. Everything he just said. It's, what I think of Foden. I love him. Absolutely love him. But can't be missing those chances. Top players don't miss those chances. You just don't. And it wasn't one chance, it was 2 or 3 chances. I think he snatched at possibly 1 or 2 of them. The one in the second half, it was easy. It was harder to miss than what he did. I don't even know what he did. I think KDB still doesn't know how he did it. But I tell you what, his work rate, his determination, and the way that he did something in the first half, the way he just drops the shoulder, and he takes 2 or 3 players out with one drop of the shoulder when he's gone, and they can't get near him. I love him, but last night, I'm going to be honest, 7.5, because I started him at a 6, and if he'd have scored them goals, he'd have probably been at a 9.
Yeah, I agree with you. Agree with all the comments on there. I think we've got to critique him now as a regular player. Gone are the days where Phil Foden came in for this game and it's his first one in 6 or 8 game. He's a regular now. This is going to be David Silva's replacement. He is that good. So we have to be objective and critique him and put the sort of academy, City, Stockport, Iniesta thing to one side and critique his performance. But I still thought he was great last night again, and so exciting, such an exciting player. So overall, 7.5 for Phil Foden, which leaves me one more player out the first starting 11, and that is the man. David Silva, Chris Baker. Go on.
To be honest, Andy, I didn't notice him all game.
What was that? Sorry. Sorry, we just lost Chris there for a minute.
He was brilliant. He rolled back the years, didn't he?
Oh.
Just fantastic performance, and really great to see him put in a performance like that, in one of his last few appearances for us, because it was brilliant. Great to see him get a goal, get his assist. I think it was one mistake he made when he didn't pass the ball that time and took the shot on himself, but he was brilliant. He was taking the ball off them, all the time.
Yeah.
Mate, it's got to be a 9.5 for me. I thought he was as good. That's the best David Silva performance of the season by a million miles.
Yeah, I agree, and certainly, obviously 2 assists, 1 goal, lovely free kick. But 2 of the goals, certainly Sterling's, and the first one was from him taking the ball off the Newcastle players. He intercepted the second one and then set up Sterling. The first one, he lost the ball, then won it back, and then started the move to, I think it was Foden, who played in to Kevin De Bruyne, or Foden, who played in Kevin De Bruyne. And that's a side that Phil Foden hopefully has learned from. The fact that, I've said it before, you're learning from the best. You're learning from the best, and it's the work rate, and never let your standards drop. Don't matter if you're having a bad game. You work for the team, and it's not just about being a silky passer and dropping your shoulder and having deft touches. It's about what else you do when you haven't got the ball for your teammates. And I thought he just did everything last night. Everything. It was almost like a complete performance, except for that save from Dubravka. Tom?
Well, he's just a man, isn't he? I was, like I said, I put a tweet out last night, just emotional, because it's just sad that every game it's just going lower and lower, and we're going to have less time to see him. It was a classic David performance, so I'm going to give him a 9.5 as well. And just a quick thing, on the Man City calendar this year, July's is David Silva, so I woke up this morning and I looked up and I just saw him glimmering, and I just smiled. I'm like, I love you. It's just brilliant. It's nothing better than waking up to David Silva. I'll be sad when July goes. I think I'm going to rip out the Sane bit in November and just stick David there and put November on it.
I can't tell you the calendars I had on the wall when I was your age. They certainly want. They certainly want Man City calendar.
Not as good as David Silva, no matter what you had.
I think it was PK Nuts. Remember them, Chris? Marty.
Sorry, I'm just reading about Mr. Dive for a penalty. Anyway.
No, we're that interested, are we?
No, because
thanks a lot.
It talks about how great a certain somebody is. Looks like he's nearly broke somebody's leg to win a penalty, but never mind. Well done. Yeah.
Fernandes.
Yeah, Bruno Fernandes is stamped on the Aston Villa player's ankle, went over and won the penalty through VAR. You've never seen anything so stupid in your life.
You're not obsessed, are you? Come on, David Silva we're talking about. Bruno Fernandes, for fuck's sake.
Absolute legend. Best player I've ever seen. And you know me with Kinkladze. I'm sorry Kinkladze might have to move over now a little bit. David's just... Even though Jim Whitley did say Kinkladze was up there with Messi. Anyway, that's for another debate. David Silva, out of this world. I'm going to miss him. I did say last night on my fan cam, I hope he did one more year. That was maybe a little bit of post-match excitement, because I don't really think that should happen anymore, really. Now I've had time to think about it, because I don't want to nullify Foden any more than what we need to do. We've got to let Foden free. And unfortunately, that's without David. think, I tell you what, I just hope. I mean, Kyle Walker tweeted something out last night, which got some kind of reaction. I tell you, is this David Silva's last ever goal at the Etihad? And it sparked some reaction from City fans. I can tell you that. I hope it's not. I hope we get a testimonial at some stage. The signs are looking good that we might be back in before Christmas, and let's hopefully get a testimonial done for him, and we get to give him the send-off that he deserves, and he can join the three amigos in the front with his new statue, hopefully.
So you score?
9.5.
Okay, well, you've overruled me.
You had 12.
I gave him a 10. I thought it was
Oh, surprise.
I thought it was a complete performance. Like I said, 112 passes, 106 completed. Those interceptions, tackles, gets a goal, 2 assists. Had that shot, which was, could have been another with a brilliant save from. It was like watching him 3, 4, 5 years ago. It was rolling back the years, and I don't know. I just always had the feeling he would have one of those games before the end of the season, just because he knows the City fans are not there in the stadium. And last night, I think, was that game. Whether we'll see another performance like that from him in the remaining games, I doubt it. I just think it was a perfect 10. I thought he was absolutely immense. But you guys win 9.5 for the magician, David Silva. And I need to move on. Right, very quickly, we're just going to finish off this section. Have a quick break. We'll come back to part 2. So we're just going to go through the subs, and I just want to score. Well, maybe might want to expand on one player, but Kyle Walker, Chris.
7.
7. Tom.
7.
Martin.
7.5.
Okay, I go for 7.5 as well, so 7.5 for Kyle. Gundogan, Chris.
6.5.
6.5. Tom.
6.5 as well, yeah.
Martin.
1 million, because he's the best player we've ever seen, and Pep loves him.
It's the Pep lover boy. It's the Pep's lover boy.
I think 7.
7. I've gone 6.5, so 6.5 for him.
Oh, have you?
Yeah. Tommy Doyle. 15 minutes. We'll give him a 7 purely because it was great to see him play.
What?
I said purely because it was great to see him have his Premier League debut. So but Bernardo Silva, Chris.
6.
6. Tom.
6.5, yeah.
6.5. Martin.
I'm at 5.5. I thought it was really bang average.
Yeah.
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 I gave him a 6. So
I'm in the rough. I'm in the ballpark. It's not
yeah. That's what I'm saying. I gave him a 6. So 30,
like gas.
30 minutes. Raheem Sterling. I'm going to come to Tom first on this one. He had 30 minutes as well. On your video last night,
yeah,
you said that he duffed his shot in on your video. Now, you said Mahrez from 6 yards out with an open net had a composed finish, you said earlier, yet Raheem Sterling, he duffed it in. Can you please explain? Well, like a miss-hit. Go on, can you explain this
basically
hit that Sterling did when it was a wonderful finished goal?
The problem I have with Sterling.
No. I'm not about the goal.
All right.
The problem you have with him.
David Silva did all the work for him. Laid it on a plate and then just nudged it in. Whereas
and nudged it in.
Yeah.
He played it between the keeper and their defender. It was a nice pass finish compared to Mahrez's open net. Composed finish for Mahrez. Now, is there a little bit of bias going on here?
No, there's not, because I don't mind Raz. But the thing is, you
don't mind him.
I know. I don't, because you can't blow smoke up a player's backside who hasn't performed since December.
It's just
in
when
my
he's not
opinion.
wearing Real Madrid shirts.
Hold on. Did he not get man of the match last week?
I praised him last week, but it's all right.
He said he's not done anything since December.
Yeah, apart from that, exactly. And he's supposed to be one of our role model players in our team, and he's only had one good performance since December. That's my point. And you've got Riyad, who's
No.
I'm not going to argue. I don't argue. I'm just saying. Mahrez is. If we're comparing the two, Mahrez has had a better stint since January than Sterling has, because he's scored, he's assisted, and he's contributed to many different attacks and games. He's contributed to many different games, whereas Sterling hasn't as much. And I know Martin does agree on that, and I don't like having arguments over players, but when people aren't performing and people who are performing are getting, and the guy who's not performing gets better compliments than the guy who is performing, it just sort of angers me. And Sterling seems to be a little bit like Kevin in a way, whereas if he has a bad game, nothing gets spoken to about it. That's my opinion on it. And
I'm just going off the 48 games. Hold on. I'm just going off the 48 games that Mahrez has played this season in total, compared to Raheem.
I knew that was going to come.
Compared to Raheem Sterling's 45.
Yeah, but don't look at stats. Why don't you look at how they perform?
And Raheem Sterling has scored 24 goals and got 8 assists.
This is why stats mean nothing.
For December,
how they perform. Don't look at the stats. Look at how they play.
Before December.
No, yeah,
Sean Gold's one of the best strikers in the world. If you're banging on about stats, is Sean Gold at the time one of the best strikers in world football? Because his stats prove that.
Well, listen.
Come on.
If Brian Dean scored the first Premier League goal of all time and nobody else scored on that particular day,
so is he a legend?
Would he have been the best player in the UK? Because he's the only person to have scored that season.
You can't say in one fact that stats mean something and then the next week they don't mean jack shit.
No, well,
they either do or they don't.
Well, they know.
When Ryan's throwing
calm down.
When Ryan throws stats at you, you don't want to know. You said stats. You were on a Friday night show.
But your
stats don't mean everything.
No, but Tom's point is, yeah, but he's only done it for half a season, so it's almost like dismissing the rest of the season. Well, if he hasn't done it for 6 months, which is what Tom said, how come he's got 24 goals and 8 assists then?
Because he had a fantastic first 4 months of the season. He had a great first 4 months of the season.
Well, okay, so if he scored 30 goals in the first half of the season and he wins the Golden Boot in the Premier League, would you say, yeah, he's had a shit season?
No, I would say he's had a good first half, but a shit second.
Well, so you're happy to say, but in the last 6 months, Mahrez has been a better player. What about the first 6 months? Where was Mahrez then?
Mahrez is on a better play, as in playing wise. His performance.
Either it's over a season or it's not. You can't go 6 months. He's been better. Mahrez has not been better.
I said this last night on the watch along. I said some people will vote on players and give them a score because of their name. KDB gets a 7 or he never gets below a 7.5 in any vlog, and he could do jack shit, miss 4 open nets, score 3 goals, and people would still be giving him 9 out of 10.
But he doesn't. Because he is a 7 or a 7.5
People are biased on certain players. That is fact. That is cold hard fact. People are biased because they don't like certain players, so they will always score them low, even when they score and they do a great game. They score them low. That's fact.
You don't think that Sterling gets a bit of a hard time?
No.
Nothing like what Mahrez has had or Rodri's had.
Right.
So hang on. So you're telling me
Sterling done.
Hang on. So you're telling me Rodri and Mahrez have had a better time than Sterling this year?
Listen, Andy said it. 24 goals, 8 assists.
Stop
Right?
No.
20. Well, if we wouldn't stats,
listen. The reason,
Tom, you can't climb into this computer.
the reason.
Well, mine don't work anyway, so I need somebody else's.
He's trying to get in. He's like, oh, hey.
I agree that Raz his performances haven't been as good as they were at the start of the season.
They haven't. No,
but that shows you how good a player. We know what a good player he is, and we want him to be playing at that level.
You make excuses for Sterling. If that's Mahrez, he's a lot of shit. Get him out of the club.
When have I made an excuse for him?
You've just done it. We all know how good he is. We know how brilliant he is.
He's produced it, hasn't he?
He's just said we know he hasn't had. He's just literally said, I know he's not been. He's not been great recently.
Andy, there's no point talking to a red. It doesn't go in. It does not go in.
The Munchen.
Bayern da
Say about Mahrez then. Say
the Munchen. The
Player of the year. Give him
the Munchen Glads back.
I just think Raza he's dipped off. Or he dipped off certainly around Christmas time.
There's going to be a but in a minute. You watch.
No, there is no but. But we know he can do better, and I don't agree that he doesn't get any grief when he doesn't play well. I think he's one of those players who gets a lot of grief when he doesn't play well.
He does get grief, but he doesn't get half as much grief as what a Mahrez or a Rodriguez.
Yeah, but there's a difference, Martin, because
has Sterling ever won Player of the Season for the Premier League?
All right,
just remind me of that stat.
Look at Raz.
Leicester won an unusual season, Premier League.
Raz has got a lot of credit in the bank at City. A lot of credit in the bank.
And Mahrez has had credit from the minute he walked in the door.
But that's the reason people like Sterling and aren't quite convinced about Mahrez.
People rate on the way they like somebody. We're not. I always say before on a player rating, vote on how they played. Don't vote on how you like them because you've got his name on the back of your shirt. Edison. Let me give you Edison, and Andy will even back me up on this. Edison makes howlers, and he doesn't get half the much crap as what Bravo get if he did the exact same thing.
But again,
because nobody liked Bravo. Bravo was that stick from the minute he walked in the
Bravo.
No, I just said, Andy, you will defend me on this, but Bravo was that stick from the minute he walked in the door. No one has ever warmed up.
Who was his first game against?
Bravo.
Yeah.
United, and he got more stick against United than Edison did
All
last time he played against them.
But that was his first game. Listen, he's come into the club. His first
man of the match performance.
Martin.
Go on.
Last season, we got 98 points. We broke records last season. We were formidables, and the majority of the time left back was Zinchenko. But you still won't have it that Zinchenko's is just crap, is useless. So who's having the bias on? I mean, this is a Premier League winner in the formidable season when we got 98 points, went 14 games unbeaten to win the title, broke records left, right, and centre with Zinchenko as our left back. But he's shit. It doesn't matter what he does. He's shit. He's shit, according to you. So you are actually saying exactly what you say about Zinchenko. So you're right. You're right. No, actually, you are right. You're right in what you're saying. People do have a bias against players because you have a clear bias against Zinchenko.
I don't. I have a clear bias and see him drop a bollock every game. Does Sterling drop a bollock every game?
You do. No, you do.
Does Sterling drop a bollock every game? Yes or no?
You do.
Does Sterling cause problems every game? Yes or no?
Yes, you do. You do.
I'm giving you facts.
You do. What facts? What facts are you giving?
Hold
on. Stop. This discussion came about because you said Sterling has been shit in the last 6 months. Okay. Yeah. Three of those months we've been in COVID and there's been no football. Okay, so he's been shit for 3 months. So from February to December, according to you, he's been shit.
December.
No, I've just said that. From February to December, he's been shit. That's what you said. 3 months. Yeah. All right. Okay. But you said this last 6 months, you've got to admit Mahrez has been better than Sterling. So what you're actually saying is the 3 months that Mahrez has been better than Sterling. Yet how come Sterling, from the beginning of the season, has got 24 goals and 8 assists? Yet Mahrez has been so much better in exactly the same time frame and played 3 more games than Sterling has. As a winger, same position.
Well,
How does that possibly work?
Are we going off stats?
How does that possibly work?
Well, are we going off stats? Oh, because if we're
No.
Stats,
You just turned round. Your argument was in the last 6 months, Mahrez has been a far better player than Sterling. Right? Well, they've not played for 3.5 months. So you're talking about 3 months. February back to December, he was poor. I agree with you. He wasn't as good as he was last season in those 3 months. But your argument was Mahrez has been a far better player. Well, Mahrez has been only played 3 months then, the same as Sterling. Yet, Sterling playing in exactly the same position on the opposite wing has scored 24 times and got 8 assists. Yet Mahrez has somehow had such a far better season than Sterling has. How is that possible? How? It's not like Mahrez has got 19 goals and 10 assists and is anywhere near Sterling's.
Because I don't go off who scores goals. I go off the overall performance of a player and what I watch.
So, okay, from the beginning of the season...
Someone can play crap and score
from the beginning of the season then to December, where was the levels of Mahrez versus Sterling then? Where? Give me a figure out of 10. Where was Sterling compared to Mahrez from the beginning of the season to December? What would you give?
I'll be honest with you, Mahrez and Sterling both started the season off great because they were both flying at West Ham, both absolutely flying on the opening day at West Ham.
No, I'm talking about one game. I'm talking about 4.5 months up to December.
Mahrez has been more consistent than Sterling.
He's been more. You are honestly on this vlog saying Mahrez this season has been more consistent in games over the whole season than Raheem Sterling has.
Sterling, hang on a minute. Sterling.
Really?
Can I say it? Am I allowed? I know your shots, jaw at the floor, pick it up.
Go on.
Sterling is a fantastic player, an absolute world beater, and could be one of the best in the world. Mahrez, I don't think, could be one of the best in the world. Sterling is a far, far better player than Mahrez. But this season overall, Mahrez, for me, because I don't just look at goals, that was my issue with Sané. When everyone was going, oh, he's done this goal and that goal, and he's come off the bench and scored against Liverpool. I'm not asked who scores. What I'm asked about is how you play for 90 minutes.
You
want sweat on the shirt.
You're basing that on the 3 months that you keep going on about. Well, yeah, no, but since December he's been poor. Since December Sterling's been poor. You're forgetting that the season did start in December.
Carry on. I'm going to get the stats up from December to February on Mahrez and the stats for Sterling between the same time period. You carry on.
And then get the stats up from August to December for Sterling and August to December for Riyad Mahrez.
Hang on, why are we at August? Why are we at August for bloody Mahrez but not for Sterling?
Huh?
Say that again. Where do you want me
August
to
to both?
Well, you're saying I'll get the stats up for this last 6 months for Sterling and Mahrez. So I said we'll get the stats up from August last year to December when the season started in August. They didn't start at the beginning of this year. It started in August last year. Get the stats up for the two of them up to December then, because otherwise you're going to go, well, yeah, no, but look, Mahrez is.
Well, he's got 14 goals in the Premier League. Are we including every cup competition here? You want Champions League? You want the Carabao Cup? You want the whole lot, do you?
Whatever you want.
Right, okay. Well, he scored 14 goals in 29 appearances. He scored 3 in the FA Cup, 2 in the Premier League Asia Trophy. We're going down that road.
Oh, get lost.
You're not a Spurs fan.
Premier League Asia Trophy. Jesus, you are clutching at straws now.
You're not a bloody Spurs fan, Martin. Jesus.
5 in the EFL Cup.
I tell you what. You've got the stats up there, haven't you? Is that on Transfer Market?
No, it's on the PremierLeague.com.
Okay, go on Transfer Market for Riyad Mahrez.
Hang on, why can't I use the same one?
Well, all right. How many Premier League games has
Sterling's played 29 and scored 14 goals.
and 3 assists? And Mahrez has got.
I'm going to look now.
I can tell you the figure because it happened last night.
Well, I don't sit there going, hang on, that's so.
He's got 10, but I think he's got 8 assists.
I'll tell you now. Bloody hell, it's not easy to navigate this, is it?
Well, just type in Riyad Mahrez and then
Well, I am doing.
Scroll down and it'll say transfer market and then go to full stats near the bottom.
He's scored 10 goals, 4 in the FA Cup, 5 in the EFL.
Hold on. I just said Premier League. So he's got
in the Champions League, so that's one less.
Premier
Are you
League.
shushing me? Whoa, are you shushing me?
Because I just said just the Premier League.
10.
So he's got 10 and I think he's got 8 assists. Is that right?
Doesn't mention assist.
Yeah, it should say next to it. The goals,
No, it
green.
just says goals.
You're not on transfer market then, are you?
No, I'm on Premier League. Told you that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's like going round in circles, isn't it? Champions League, how many goals? How many games?
Just says 6 goals.
Well, yeah, 5 goals for Sterling and 4 assists. FA League Cup,
5. 5 each.
3 and 1 assist. FA Cup,
3, I think it was.
1 here. So overall, 24 and 8, and he's had a crap season.
Said he's had a crap 6 months. Don't be twisting it round to seasons.
But we've not played 6 months. We've only played 3.5 months.
Oh, I give up. I give up.
Anyway,
the fact is,
us
I
your-
don't
give
like
us
to
your-
play your
give us your
baseball
thoughts.
facts.
give us your thoughts. If you agree with Munchin there, then comment below.
Oh, send
Martin,
me to bloody Tenerife now.
God, wish
2
could get you
weeks
a flight
off.
tomorrow and send you there. At least you'd have to wear a mask. That'd shut you up for a bit. Right. This is the end of the first part. We'll be back for a quick part 2, just looking at the latest rumours today.
You quit part 1.
That was a review. Give us your comments. This is what it's about. It's all about opinions. People have different ideas. Do you think, and actually Martin raised a bit of a good question earlier, do you think there's a bias by City fans towards certain players? Some will say Chris has got a bias against Mahrez like I have, because we see the game a bit different to what others do. We might say that Martin likes to fudge figures and only go for certain months of the year and things like that. But anyway, give us your comments below. This is on City Fan TV. That was a very interesting discussion on that. But don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell icon. And don't forget to check out part 2 where we'll just run through very quickly the latest rumours surrounding Manchester City today. Take care and we'll see you shortly.